Halloween, one of the most important events of the year, celebrated by thousands of millions of trillions of quintillions across the globe. So that probably means I should add it into my game. But this guy here thinks I can't, so, I'm gonna prove him wrong. Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be adding Halloween items into my gorillatag fan game because as you can see it's the 2nd of October and we still haven't done it. Whoa, stop what you're doing because I'm going to be doing a giveaway for 2,000 shiny rocks because in this video I'm going to be hiding a code for a £15 MetaQuest gift card. With this gift card you're going to be able to redeem your shiny rocks and you'll be the richest monkey of them all. So again, I'm going to hide the code in this video, watch very carefully to see if you can find it. Apart from that, straight back to the video. So as you can see, here's the player model which we're going to base all the cosmetics off of so we get the scale and stuff correct. So the first thing which I think we should add to the player is a candle, because of course in Halloween time, it's nice and dark and spooky. I've just modelled a candle, but as you can see, it doesn't really have any light coming out of it. In a couple of clicks I changed the colour to this orange, and down here for a mission I made a colour amp which glows, but you can't really see it glowing, so when I click this button here you can now see it's brighter than everything else in the scene. So to export this, all I'm going to do is delete the current player model, File, Export, FBX, and I'm just going to export it into the cosmetics folder. Before we actually add it into the game, we're going to make a couple different cosmetics and then we're going to add decorations. I've just put a pumpkin hat together, but I hope what's not going to happen is you'll be able to see the side of the pumpkins when you're in-game, because in gorillatag if you wear something like glasses you can see the outline, so I hope something like that won't happen. Again, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go File, Export, FBX into the cosmetics folder and name it pumpkin hat. I've just put together a quick sweet bucket, as you can see, or candy for you American people, but I also think this could be turned into a holdable, so let me quickly do that. And this is the end result of the holdable. I made it a little bit smaller on the Z-axis so it's shorter, and I gave it a nice black handle. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go File, Export, FBX and save it here. And I seem to have forgotten to export the sweet bucket hat. So now that we've done that, I think that we should add a skeleton in which matches the player's proportions. So this took me absolutely ages to do, but I think it's perfect. So if I go up here and disable the model, here is the skeleton I made. What I'm going to do now is add an armature to it so I'll be able to move the bones in Unity. Okay, that didn't really take that long, but now I've got the bones all working. Yep, it works at every joint. Now, as usual, I'm going to go File, Export, FBX, and export it. I really struggled with modelling this one, so I can't really say it's that good, but let's still export it. So now we're in the game, let's add the cosmetics to the players. Number 1. Number 2, number 3, and number 4, except for I do know it's at a bit of a weird rotation, but don't worry about that, that's because it kind of moves when you load into game. And just like that, I think the sweet bucket is done. But now it's the part of the video which you've probably all been waiting for, which is decorating the map with the Halloween stuff. Okay, so I like what I've done with the shop. I've added a little skeleton in here, a cobweb there, another big web there, and finally one guy hanging off the lights where if you go into this view here, it looks okay. What I totally forgot to add in was a pumpkin, so I'm going to quickly do that. So here's the pumpkin, completely done. This is the same one what I've used for the cosmetic, except for it doesn't have a hole carved out in it. Bringing up the cosmetic though, it has given me the idea to surround the computer room. So now I've added in the pumpkin, all I'm going to do is just adjust these guys a little bit to make it fit the scene still. So I've had a little bit of an idea to add in a glowing pumpkin. So to do that, I'm going to go like that, then bring that up a little bit. And when I drag that on and trigger the lighting, as you can see, it glows. Again, I adjusted a little bit so it glows a bit more. But what I'm going to do now is bake the lighting to see how everything looks. So now that the lighting's baked and everything's there, let's bring the player in to see what it looks like for him. So first of all, it's a good sign that we can see the colliders working on the pumpkin. Let's see this pumpkin over here. Yep, the player can collide with it. What I'm not sure about though, if the player will be able to collide with this skeleton over here in the corner, which kind of seems to work, but at the same time also kind of doesn't. That's fine, but what I have done is added in this cobweb here where the player will get stuck on it, and the player kind of has to go around the edges like this to get through. And as you can see, the big illuminating pumpkin works fine, and the cobweb is of course here with everything else, and the guy on the ceiling looks good, I think. Let me quickly rotate. Yep, as you can see, it will receive light. Something what I have completely forgotten to do is actually add the place where you buy and equip the cosmetic. So I'm going to quickly toggle the lighting so we can see, and now let's add them. So to make it easier, I'm just going to duplicate one of the things from this wall, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to rotate it like that. Move it into the corner like that. You know what, I'm actually going to have them over on this side. I'll have it somewhere like there, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete the hat, and I'm going to rename this stand. So I've renamed it to Pumpkin Hat, and on the purchase button here, I'm going to change the purchase amount to 750 rocks. So after that, I need to put in the name which says Pumpkin Hat here. And I just need to make sure these are corrected like that. And of course, on the enable button, I need to change this to Pumpkin Hat. And of course, I need to change the text to 750, I think it was. And I quickly just went and grabbed the player's head to put inside of it. And now again, I'm going to duplicate this and rename this to Cosmetic Stand Sweet Hat. Actually, Sweet Bucket Hat. To make sure the player doesn't get confused between the holdable and the hat version of the bucket, one of them I'm going to have the player's head and one of them I'm not. And now I've quickly put in here Sweet Bucket, and the same for this bit here. And again, to make sure they're assigned to the correct ones, I'm just going to drag these in. And something what I forgot to do is drag the mesh collider under here. Actually, you know what? I don't really want to be that mean because this cosmetic doesn't really look that good. So I'm going to put the price of this actually at 650. I'm going to rename this here to Holdable. Delete these here. In the enable, I'm going to paste this in. Same here. And I've just grabbed the Sweet Bucket, but what I'm going to have to do here is remove this component and remove this component. Go back to the scripts folder, get change left hand cosmetic, and I'm going to drag that onto these two. Also, what I've done, I've changed the purchase price to 1,150. And finally, it's time to make the candle hat. So I quickly grabbed the candle from the player. I'm going to enable it here so we can see it. And because it does look a bit like a holdable, I've just put the player's head under it. And we can change the purchase price to something like 750. And got to change the text to that. And finally, I've added the change head cosmetic to candle hat. I think I've set it all up correctly. So if I flip the player around, here are the purchase buttons. Grabbing the player's left hand, we should see the price over there go down. And just like that, it went down. And can I enable the hat? Yes, I can. Okay, let me try and see if this one works. Yep, and now I've only got 300 dusty stones. And if I click this, it didn't work. So I've just seen why it didn't work. I forgot to drag this under left hand cosmetics instead of just left hand. Loading back into game, you can now see that the bucket is working how it's meant to work. What I'm going to quickly do is test that these here work. Oh, and I'm not sure if I mentioned if I gave myself more dusty stones. So let me see if we can enable it, and yes we can. And finally, again, buying this, you can see that it works perfectly as well. So that's going to be the end of today's video. If you did enjoy it, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and apart from that, have a brilliant rest of your day and goodbye.